Collins & Co.'s not-for-profit conference, Be Empowered Through Knowledge, is designed specifically for the not-for-profit sector. Our speakers are experts in this sector, and their practical approach provides not-for-profit board members and management with the opportunity to improve their skills and knowledge across a range of specialist topics. The conference also provides a great networking opportunity.
Now it gives me great pleasure to present to you our keynote speaker, Rosshandler. Ash is the founder and CEO of Good Company and the Karma Currency Foundation. Established in 2007, www.karmacurrency.com.au launched Australia's first charity gift voucher and charity gift register. And in 2012, the foundation absorbed Good Company, Australia's largest professional volunteer matching platform. Ash is the winner of the Australian ICT Innovator of the Year, the World Summit Awards for E-commerce, and the Australasian Fundraiser of the Year. Ash's mission is to connect those we can give with those who are in need. And his topic today is the future of workplace giving. Please join me in welcoming Ash to the stage.
Thanks everyone for having me. It was a few months ago, Reich called me and he said, Ash, I'll tell you something, I think it would be absolutely fantastic if you could be our keynote speaker. And I said, Reich, I've got no idea what you're saying. What are you actually talking about? He goes, yeah, what's an invention, you know? You could come up on stage, you could share all your things. But anyway, I'm very grateful for that and for the opportunity to share some of our learnings over the years in the workplace giving space, and particularly thankful to Collins & Co for doing our audits over the last few years and doing a cracking job of that. So on the run sheet, apparently Paul Kelly was going to say something which I was quite excited about. I'm a big fan, but apparently he's one of the partners at Collins & Co. So it's a bit confusing because I was going to go into this from little things, big things grow, and a whole song and dance, but I'll skip that and just quickly get you up to speed about what we've been doing at Good Company and how we've got to where we are today. So very quickly, who's an accountant in the audience? Anyone accountants? Yeah, good. Feel at home. I studied accounting and philosophy at Monash Uni, philosophical accountants. Not a good career choice. But anyway, studied accounting, philosophy, went into advertising, sold a lot of crap to a lot of people, felt terrible about it, did some ads for the Red Cross and the Heart Research Institute, actually felt a little bit better about what I was doing, and thought at some stage in my life I'd like to give back, do good, help out. So, and like many people thought I'll do that later, but about 10 years ago, my wife and I were going to a friend's engagement party and we were arguing in the cab about the gift that we'd bought, because we bought them a vase, and I'm like, you know, it's just going to end up in a landfill, it's no good, maybe we should have got them a goat from Oxfam or something charitable. She goes, oh, but you know, honey, like if you give someone a goat, they could be into goats or chickens or whales or breast cancer or heart research, there's so many great things out there. So together we came up with this idea for a charity gift voucher, which would essentially empower the recipient to decide where that money would vest. And we called it Karma Currency, and we went from charity gift vouchers to charity gift registries to workplace giving. And then, as Reich mentioned, about 4 years ago, we took over Good Company and created Australia's first unified workplace giving platform. And last year we moved into New Zealand, and we've distributed just shy of $8 million, about 180,000 hours of volunteer matching, and just welcomed on board our 50,000th donor last week. And we did an interview with them, some guy at Optus, and he's going to volunteer at ABCN through our site. He's also going to give to, I think it was Starlight Foundation. So that's kind of our story, but what I'm here today to talk about is not just our story, but more broadly, the future of workplace giving and what it looks like. So interestingly, the Department of Social Services has just commissioned a big study with some of the universities and on the Australian Giving Report. So I think that's something all worth downloading and having a look at. And it looks into workplace giving, volunteering, and more broadly business giving. So some of the stats that have come out of it are great. They show 85% of large companies do have a workplace giving offering. About half do payroll matched giving, and there are a little bit less than half that offer a formal volunteer program. So traditionally, I guess, workplace giving in Australia, the conversation has been, it hasn't been workplace giving, it's almost been payroll giving. So the definition on a lot of sites is workplace giving is pre-tax donations to DGR Type 1 charities. But I think now the conversation's going, well, that's payroll giving. Workplace giving is actually a lot broader than that. So, and in this recent report, they've actually talked about it a bit broader again and talked about business giving, which I think is even more interesting. And what's happening in the business giving is there's been $5.7 billion of giving, sorry, $7.7 billion in community partnerships, 6.2 billion in donations and 3.6 in sponsorships. So they're saying in 2015, 2016, businesses gave 17.5 billion. And you can see from the graph there that large companies that only make up 0.2% of businesses gave 9 billion, and the rest were made up by SMEs. And what's really interesting on the SME market is they actually look at sponsorship as their way of donating. So that's now coming into the mix, which is kind of interesting for your NGO and your organisation, where that sponsorship mix comes into donating, fundraising, and other ways of giving. And I guess what we're excited about, what we do at Good Company, is we do the time, talent and treasure. So time is general volunteering, talent is a skill volunteering, and the treasure is the donating, fundraising piece. And why that's really exciting also comes back to this Australian Giving Report, and they have found that 80% of volunteers donate, and when they do, they give twice the donation. So we're now in a position to start unlocking that nexus, and we'll come back to this slide later because we've got some exciting findings around that. So why do companies do it? And we've had a few interesting roundtables and talked with some of our corporate partners, and why do we do this CSR? What's in it for us? What's in it for them? What's in it to make it a sustainable program? Again, going back to this Australian Giving Report, they've highlighted a few interesting facts on SMEs. It's about the personal connection often of the staff or the owner. So it is a bit of that still chairman's choice, if you like, in these small organisations, but also their way of demonstrating a commitment to the local community. Whereas for large companies, it's about improving employee engagement, strengthening their social licence to operate, and a desire to achieve social impact, which is nice and interesting. But I think if we want to cut to the heart of it, I'm not sure if you've seen this, but we'll just watch this and maybe have a quick chat about this character and his journey.
เขาจะได้อะไรถ้าเขาทำแบบนี้ทุกวันเขาจะไม่ได้อะไรเลยไม่ได้รวยขึ้นไม่ได้ออกทีวีไม่มีใครรู้จักไม่ได้มีชื่อเสียงที่มากขึ้นเพราะสิ่งที่เขาได้คือได้แค่ความรู้สึกได้เห็นความสุขได้เข้าใจได้ความรักได้ในสิ่งที่เงินซื้อไม่ได้ได้โลกที่สวยงามกว่าเดิมในชีวิตคุณอะไรคือสิ่งที่คุณต้องการมากที่สุด
ไทยประกันชีวิตเชื่อในความดี
So maybe if you wouldn't mind just writing down, you've got pads in front of you, probably three qualities that this guy, the main character, has shown during this story. And think of him as an employee. If he's an employee of your company, three of those qualities that you've seen. Okay, now who'd like to share some? Yep. Compassion, integrity, and commitment. Fantastic. Anyone? Anyone else? Sharing. Giving. Selfless. Fantastic. Initiative. Yep. Anyone else want to yell out? You contribute? Empathy. Absolutely. So now that's in Thailand, and that guy is going on his journey during the day. And I guess what companies see here is maybe people don't have time in their journey from work. If you've got a garage and you drive out of your car and go straight from your house through the traffic and into an office building and down into the carport, you probably don't have that time to interact with people. So I think a lot of companies are saying, well, it's our responsibility and almost a privilege too, if we can give people the opportunity to volunteer, donate, fundraise during work, what's the sort of attributes we're going to be encouraging? And empathy is an absolutely huge one, and one of our companies who's also insurance said, you know, we sell insurance. We, to be a successful business, need to be able to sell insurance and talk to people on the phone. If we've got people on the phones who can't empathise with someone at the end of the line, they're not going to be any good at selling insurance. they're not going to be good at their job. So if we can build that empathy and encourage that, we'll be a more successful company and we'll do better things for the community. So that, if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs and us all, self-actualisation and us reaching our better potential and our better selves and a better society, I think a video like this and some of the notions probably speak to the top of the pie. And then if we take it down a level, a lot of other companies will say, well, why do we invest in workplace giving and in CSR? And they talk about a healthy high street needs healthy back streets. Oh, sorry, healthy back streets. Thanks, got one laugh out of that. To have healthy high streets, to have a healthy commerce, you need healthy back streets, because if you're not doing that, guess what? You don't have any customers, you don't have a business, we don't have a society, a functioning society. So that, I guess, is another view, another frame. Another one too, being a little more cynical, but it is the world that we live in, is, there are banks going up for royal commissions, there are other things, and when you talk about social licence to operate and countering bad press, and also, I guess there are questions of what gets these companies into trouble in the first place. Is it that they have some staff or have a culture that is encouraging the wrong things? And how can they steer them and start to encourage the right things? So these are also drivers to get involved for companies who are investing in workplace giving and connecting with the community. And again, other things that we've only seen in recent years, like the Panama Papers, and there was a great show on Insight last night about this, but interestingly, yesterday, Google and Facebook have now, they're going to be full tax-paying entities in Australia on revenues generated here. So again, I guess those companies can do one or two things. They could say, okay, well, we're not paying our tax here, we're getting some bad press, let's get some good press and let's show that we're donating squillions of dollars to charity. Or, and now, we're just living in a different world where there's a lot more transparency, media, social media, and if this is encouraging companies to do the right thing, that's wonderful. And then I guess finally, a big driver for me is I'm 42 now, and it seems to be just in my lifetime that possibly from Reaganomics and the trickle-down theory, what we've actually got is this state of affairs, 30, 40 years later, where companies are more powerful than governments. So it's been the role for government forever and a day to help non-profits and the community. But what happens when you get to a position now, and it's a bit tricky to read this slide, but this is actually the cash reserves of countries versus companies. And this is from 2013, so I guarantee you that the gap has only widened. So you can see at the top there, Apple has 159 billion in cash reserves. Malaysia, Turkey, Poland, the UK's got 70 billion, down at 11, the US at 21, with 48 billion in cash reserves. So you've got more cash reserves at Pfizer, Verizon, Google, Microsoft and Apple than you do for the US government. And I don't think, I'm not sure where Australia is on that. Yeah, we're at number 25. So again, those companies have more cash. So companies now really are playing a part and understanding their part. And also you saw just last week, a bunch of companies also have gone to the government and said marriage equality should be on the agenda, and they've actually stated in the article, it's part of our corporate social responsibility to be pushing this and pushing government to make changes in this for society. So it's a very interesting world we're living in. And it all plays into, what are some of the drivers behind workplace giving. For us at Good Company, we often just try and keep it really simple and talk about staff attraction, retention, engagement and wellbeing. And all these slides are available, so you can read some of the bits and pieces under there. But there's a whole wealth of studies now talking about staff's and especially millennials drive to work for companies with purpose. For example, here it shows 88% of millennials plan to stay over 5 years if they're satisfied with an organisation's sense of purpose. If not, 63% say, well, they'll leave within 2 years. And the costs of retraining, they're estimated at 150% of the person's salary, that loss of capital that goes out the door when you lose someone. So for everyone in the room thinking, what's in this for me and how can I help my NGO succeed, and with all these drivers, what are the opportunities? We're really excited about, it sounds crazy, but it's called volinating. It sounds almost sickening. It sounds like something you might go to Bali and get. But I'll talk you through it. As an example, with Optus, which is one of our first clients to get on board that wanted this unified giving platform, we've got our volinations calculator. So volinations is basically volunteering leading to donations. And the way it works is quite exciting. So it starts with the fact that a lot of companies now want to do team volunteering and want to engage their staff, and they won't go to a pub, they won't go go-karting, they want to come to your organisation and have an experience. And hopefully not just a transactional experience, they want a transformative experience. And for a lot of people in non-profits, we know that's really hard to do, really hard to offer. And when we get that phone call, 48 hours before Christmas from a company saying we've got 500 staff, can you open your doors? It's not a good thing. But with some planning, you can look at volunteer programs and charge corporates for this. So this starts here, it's $200 a head of conservation volunteers to go out and volunteer, and you get gloves and you get lunch, etc. Now, when the person goes back to work, they get a $100 for doers voucher, which is a gift from the company saying, we love you going out to volunteer, we want to encourage more of it. Here's a $100 charity gift voucher to give all over again. So now we're at $300 for the charity. Then there's the opportunity when they're on the platform to sign up for workplace giving, and on average staff at Optus give $915 a year. So now we've taken it to over $1,200 for the organisation. But wait, there's more on the volinations calculator. So what they do then is there's a matched giving component on what they've donated, up to $300 a year. So now we're over $1,500. And then the ability to set up a fundraiser, so the average fundraising page generates $800, so we're all of a sudden over $2,000 from the start as a volunteer opportunity, and has generated that for the charity. So whereas the Australian Giving Report has shown 80% of volunteers donate twice as much, we're seeing on our platform that those volunteers are donating over 4 times as much. So this is really exciting and a great opportunity for organisations to connect with these corporates on so many different levels. Now, for the future of workplace giving, I guess there's a great saying: the best way to predict the future is to create it. So that's what we're trying to do with our platform. So we're making the branding easy, and the measurements, and how many people and how many staff and how many dollars for our corporate clients, where they can do their workplace giving, their volunteering, as I mentioned, the fundraising pages and stories. So that's somewhere on the site where you can circulate, who's gone out, what's happened, what's been the change in the organisation. People can leave comments and contribute to that. And then also the rewards side of things, which are the charity gift vouchers, and even we're experimenting with something called volunteer vouchers. So volunteer vouchers given to a staff member saying, hey, you're doing a great job here, we want you to share your skills and expertise with the wider community, where we also think you can make a great contribution. So here's another 8 hours to go and make a difference. So that's turning a volunteer, a lot of organisations have volunteering in their EBA, in their enterprise bargaining agreement, but it's not really seen as a gift or a reward. It's kind of tucked somewhere into some paperwork. So we're trying to bring these out and make giving just more gifting and rewarding. Also in the future of workplace giving, AI is quite interesting too, about this match, so the matching algorithms between those that can give and those in need, based on interests, locations, what they're viewing on the internet, what other sites they've been to, who's in their social network they're connected to. So I think we're really at the tip of the iceberg now in terms of what AI can do to help better connect your organisations with the right donors and the right corporates out there. It is a bit scary, it's a bit weird, but I think also, a lot of these studies talking about the future of work and the future of, not just workplace giving, but the future of work full stop is, I kind of think about it and think, well, great-grandparents, you might look at them and go, wow, they went down a mine all day. Like they actually went down a mine. How dangerous was that? In the dark, 10 hours, digging and picking or whatever else. And I've got a feeling that our grandchildren are going to look at us and say, wow, you sat at a desk for 8 hours a day? Were you nuts? That's so dangerous and so strange, and you're just in one space. Like, what were you doing? What were you thinking? So the nature of work and the hours of work, and the Greens last week were talking about a 4-day work week rather than a 5-day one, which apparently the French have tested. Someone said that, look at the French economy, we don't want to go that way. But anyway, things are definitely going to change in that respect. And in terms of what's going to be automated and the different jobs that are going to be lost, what's interesting is, at one end you've got a lot of processes, and they're now talking about the lawyers, the accountants, the doctors, all the way through, and then the jobs that are safest are rabbis and priests and personal trainers and things like that. So we're entering a weird world. There will be lots of changes, but to equip us for that, one of the things they're talking about is building emotional empathy and emotional intelligence and creativity, so that the workforce can be agile to these changes that are coming along. So AI will have an impact on the workforce and also workplace giving. Then there are other more fun elements too that we want to bring into the workplace giving universe, if you like. And I hope you'll enjoy this little clip that talks about how we might look at exercise and community and companies and giving.
Well, gorge fit, lazy fit, thought I heard a sound fit, bacon fit, donut fit, bacon on a donut fit, drool fit, cream fit, weepy fit, creepy fit, smoke fit, meat fit, smoke while smoking meat fit, drink fit, 40 fit, drinking to forget fit, sleeping in a yard fit, starting random fires fit, border random fires fit, stealing neighbor's mail fit, federal offense fit.
Every year, thousands of people abandon their New Year's resolutions and let themselves slide back into bad habits. That stops now, f***ers.
Starting February 3rd, Fitbit will take the active calories their users burn and donate them as meals to people who actually need those calories. America's hungry. That's right, burn calories, give calories. It's that simple. And the race to 1 billion calories is on. These millennials dancing at a bowling alley just burned 119 calories. That's half a ham sandwich. This businessman's commute, a can of soup. Yes, every active calorie we burn is a calorie someone in need will eat. Oh, this? Don't worry. I've already reached 14,000 steps today. I've earned this. Cloth is for America.
So, as you can see, there's all these exciting different technologies and opportunities to interplay with giving, with meditating, with donating, with fundraising, with volunteering, with keeping fit. So that's where we'd like to see the future workplace giving go. In a very sort of integrated approach and right at the centre and heart of companies. And also what's kind of exciting too is a lot of companies that we're speaking to, they're saying, you know, Ash, we're not interested in volunteer opportunities, we're interested in L&D challenges, learning and development challenges. So these companies too now are saying, oh, okay, is our money best spent at Harvard Business School doing a short course for our executive leadership team, or are there NGOs out there who could use them for a week? And it's really exciting because it actually changes the dynamic of the whole conversation from a company saying, we'll give 1 day paid volunteer leave, to saying, well, actually, if this is learning and development, give them a week, give them 2 weeks, and get them out there and really exploring a sticky, hard issue that they can try and help solve, and they're going to get all those skills transfers and learning and development out of that opportunity. So, yeah, there's a really exciting time, and what it means is, you know, both for non-profits and corporates getting out of their silo mentality. So there's, you know, the silo of, well, here's the CSR team, here's the marketing team, here's health and wellbeing, here's learning and development, here's the business team, the sales team. And actually, I think for both organisations, the more cross-collaboration there is and more talking, they'll start to unearth some really exciting opportunities with workplace giving and connecting those that can give with those in need. So that's one of the first takeaways that I'd like you to take away today. And this isn't on, I just did this sort of this morning. So I'll update the current slide deck in, I think it's all electronic and online. So the first one was talking about take your volunteer department and fundraising department out for lunch. And talk about some of these synergies, hopefully, that you've learnt today or that you've further reinforced today. And I think often they're working in completely different areas and don't appreciate how they can complement each other and help the organisation achieve your objectives. Another takeaway is, you know, if your organisation has a few hundred staff, why don't you think about having a workplace giving platform yourself, which is in, you know, colloquial terms, talking about eating your own dog food. So that you can actually then go out to corporates and say, well, we have a workplace giving platform because we believe it's empowering, engaging, attractive for staff, and we'd like you to consider it, and we'd like you to have us as our hero organisation underpinning this program. So also there's an idea there about the staff gifts and rewards that can flow back to your organisation. So should you wish to, you could actually look at your organisation and say, what do we give our staff Myers vouchers or Bunnings vouchers or Coles vouchers for their birthday or for their 10-year anniversary? What if we actually looked at that budget and said, okay, why don't we give them a charity gift voucher instead? And on the charity gift voucher it says, you've got to spend this within 30 days, and if you don't, all funds default back to us. So there's a way to unlock that whole budget. You're still giving them a gift, you're still acknowledging their hard work, but the best part is you might actually take some of that budget and reinvest it back into your organisation. Another takeaway is about engaging your boards. I'm not sure how close you are to your board of directors at your different organisations, but in the States they talk about boards should either give, get or get off. In Australia we're a bit gentler there, but I think there should be some expectations from a board that if they're not writing a big cheque or they're not getting other organisations and other people to financially support your organisation, then perhaps they're not the right person for your board. So in terms of give, it's always a hard ask for a give, but a get is actually talking to them and saying, hey, you wear two hats, you're on our board, you come to the meeting once a month, your other hat is, you're the CEO of pick any brand here around the MCG, Cummings or the Recycler or Vicland or Audi. That would be a good board member. You're the CEO of Audi. Why don't you get Audi to put in a workplace giving platform? We'll be one of the hero charities on there. We'll get your staff to give. You could be the poster child for it. And that's a great way to help our organisation outside of the monthly board meeting. You can help us every day. That's a third takeaway. The fourth is follow up corporate supporters, educate them about the benefits of workplace giving. And the fifth takeaway, if you like, is just to connect with me on LinkedIn or grab me later for a conversation and discuss, how we can help. And also I'd love to hear your ideas for, workplace giving and donating in general and where you think it's going and where you think organisations like ours can best assist. So there's my contact details there, and thanks for having me.